What is good, everybody? It's your boy, the one and only King Tyson, y'all. We back here for episode 60, y'all. We back here for episode 60 on the Rawest Smack Talk. This is a Saturday night's main event edition, y'all. Saturday night's main event edition. So how y'all feeling out there? It's the freaking weekend, y'all. So like I said, hopefully y'all week was productive, successful, and everything went your way, like I always say, y'all. So yeah, this is episode 60, and Saturday night's main event just passed. So how y'all feeling? How y'all rating Saturday night's main event? Put it in the comments, y'all. Put it in the comments on the Raw Smack Talk. Episode 60, y'all. We made it to episode 60, y'all. Like I said, on every episode, man. Like I said, on every episode. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, man. Keep posting, reposting, and commenting, man. I appreciate all the love y'all been giving me throughout the year. Throughout the year is almost season 2. I'll keep on, can't say that enough. I'm gonna say it again until we get to season 2 this September, y'all. So make sure y'all tune in for season 2. Because season 2, we going live, y'all. We are going live in season 2. I might do it a little early, but we're gonna be definitely doing live sessions in September, alright? We're gonna make it do what it do, alright? We're gonna make it do what it do. So yeah, I can't wait for that. Alright, so Saturday night's main event, y'all. Saturday night's main event was crazy. It was crazy. They had Jelly Roll out there. The stars was out, y'all. They had Jelly Roll out there. So how y'all feeling about Jelly Roll and Randy Orton, y'all? Jelly Roll and Randy Orton teamed up on, Friday Night SmackDown. They teamed up together against Logan Paul and the one and only Drew McIntyre. So the shit was crazy. So as we know, Randy and Drew have a rivalry. So Randy, RKO Drew McIntyre 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. So and Drew McIntyre got his lit back last week on SmackDown. So it is all out war with Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. All out war now. So the winner of the match at Saturday night's main event was the one and only Randy Orton, y'all. Randy Orton won the match against Drew McIntyre. So big ups to Randy Orton. He did his thing at Saturday night's main event. And also, Jelly Roll too. Jelly Roll got involved as well. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into the one and only Saturday night's main event. Let's get into it right here on the Raw Smack Talk. Episode 60, alright? So like I was saying, so look, Jelly Roll did his goddamn thing. So like I said on SmackDown, Jelly Roll ended up slamming Logan Paul on his motherfucking head and shit. So on SmackDown, Logan Paul smashed up Jelly Roll's goddamn guitar and his goddamn drum set. So that's how really Jelly Roll got involved with all this bullshit. Jelly Roll was like, he is sick of this shit. So, and during the match, let's get into the match. Like I said, let's get into the match. At one point, Logan Paul distracted Randy Orton. When Randy Orton turned around, Drew McIntyre Claymore the shit out of Randy Orton. I was like, what the fuck? I thought that was it right there. I thought that was it. So later on in the match, as we see that Jelly Roll and Logan Paul got into it outside the ring. So, they was arguing and shit, and Logan Paul ended up pushing Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll was like, push me one more time, motherfucker, push me one more time. And he did it again, so Jelly Roll ended up pushing Logan Paul's stupid ass and shit. So, so Drew McIntyre got into it too. He was like, yeah, man, you want to fight somebody? Give me this goddamn ring. Give me this ring and fight me too. And Jelly Roll was just looking at Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre's like, yeah, nigga. Oh! He said that. He was like, yeah, that's what I thought. He was like, yeah, that's what I fucking thought. So soon as Drew McIntyre turned around, y'all, soon as Drew McIntyre turned around, Randy Orton RKO'd the shit out of Drew McIntyre. And he pinned, and that was the match. Randy Orton wins the match, y'all. So big ups to Randy freaking Orton. I want to say Randy freaking Orton, but big ups to Randy Orton. Big ups to Randy Orton. Alright, but look, that wasn't the end. That was not the end. So Logan Paul ended up dropping Randy Orton's ass after the match. Straight up after the match, he dropped his ass, punched him in his goddamn face, and then he started to beat the shit out of Randy Orton. He started to beat the shit out. So Jelly Roll got in the ring. He comes in, he drops Logan Paul too. Jelly Roll drops his ass. So as Jelly Roll was checking on Randy Orton, checking on him, make sure he was good and shit, Drew McIntyre ass came out of nowhere and just Claymore the shit out of Jelly Roll, y'all. I'm like, God damn. I was like, what? And Drew McIntyre was talking shit. He was like, yeah, man, you really is a problem with me. It's like, he ain't say all that, but he ain't say all that. But Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul will be teaming up, y'all. Will be teaming up at SummerSlam. Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and Jelly Roll at SummerSlam, y'all. In August 2nd and 3rd, y'all. New Jersey. Let's get it. Let's get it. SummerSlam is coming up around the corner. Alright. So so the Stars was out in ATL, y'all. They had 2 Chainz in them. 2 Chainz was out there. So speaking of the Stars, Jade was also out. They showed Jade, y'all, you know, she's gonna have a match with Naomi at Evolution. So when the camera showed Jade, y'all, Naomi came out of nowhere from behind and just started to beat the shit out of Jade, man. She beat the shit out of Jade. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Naomi is on a different goddamn level right now. Naomi is on a different level. She is going in. So Jade was like, fuck that. Jade tossed Naomi over the announce table and shit. And then Naomi jumped from the announce table onto Jade. It was going down at Saturday night's main event. I was like, what the fuck? At first, I thought Nick Aldis was about to make a match right then and there between Jade and Naomi. But it didn't happen. So Nick Aldis said it was going to be a match. It's going to be, you know, no holds barred, y'all. It's going to be a no holds barred with Jade versus Naomi. But it's going to be a special guest referee. And guess who the special guest referee is? The one and only, y'all. Bianca Belair, y'all. Bianca Belair will be the special guest referee for that match. So make sure y'all tune in. Jade versus Naomi, no holds barred with the special guest referee, Bianca. At Evolution, y'all. That's gonna be one crazy match. So make sure y'all tune in for that, and we're gonna talk about that match as well later on this week. Alright? Later on. Well, I'm gonna say later on, but probably they had a match with Jimmy Uso. How y'all feel? Did y'all think that Jimmy Uso was gonna be Solo Sikoa for the Men's United States Championship? Put it in the comments right here. Because at first I thought he was gonna win, but in the back of my head I was like, Jimmy Uso is not gonna defeat Solo Sikoa. He's not gonna defeat him because, you know, they got Tyler Tonga, Lau, and JC Mateo. So that's why I call him the Bloodline 3.0. So he had the Bloodline 3.0 backing him. So ain't no way in the world that Jimmy Uso was gonna win, but Jimmy Uso was doing his thing, y'all. He was doing his motherfucking thing. So look, at one point Jimmy Uso gave Solo Sikoa a German suplex outside the ring, well, onto the ring apron, y'all. I thought that was it right there when he did that German suplex and Solo. I was like, oh shit. He dropped his ass right on his motherfucking back. So Jimmy Uso went all the way, you know, to give Solo Sikoa, you know, the Uso splash, and then when he was about to do the spear, Solo Sikoa reversed that shit, and Solo turned it into, you know, the spinning Solo Sikoa did his finishing move, the spinning Solo to Jimmy Uso. I was like, holy shit. I thought that was the match, but it wasn't. The match continued. But and then at the end, Solo Sikoa ended up winning the match, y'all. Thanks to Tyler Tonga. Tyler Tonga interfered with the match. Jimmy Uso was on top. You know, had his momentum up. But like I said, Tyler Tonga interfered with it. So Solo Sikoa did basically a roll-up pin, and Tyler Tonga helped him with the roll-up pin, and he retained his fucking championship. I was like, come on, man. Come on with the bullshit. Y'all gotta stop playing with the bullshit. Come on, man. Come on, WWE. So Solo Sikoa retains his United States Championship. So do we see Jimmy Uso win United States Championship in the future? Y'all put it in the comments. Do y'all see Jimmy Uso winning the title? Put it in the comments right here on the Raw Smack Talk. This is episode 60. Let's get it. Let's get it together. Alright. So look, after the match, it wasn't it. It wasn't it. So Tyler and the Bloodline 3.0 went in on Jimmy Uso. They went in to beat the shit out of his ass. So Solo finished Jimmy Uso off with a spike. Then the one and only Jacob Fatu came out. He took out Tonga Lau. Took out Tonga Lau and JC Mateo. And then the last one standing in the ring was Tyler Tonga. Tyler Tonga is a big mother level, y'all. He is huge. He's tall as a motherfucker. I didn't even know he was that damn tall. He was like at least 3 more feet taller than goddamn Jacob Fatu. Say, god damn. So Talatonga ended up giving Jacob Fatu a big ass boot, gave him a big ass boot. So as Jacob Fatu was getting up, Talatonga was about to do a move, but Jacob Fatu pulled down the ropes and he ended up flying out the fucking ring. Jacob Fatu was on fire. Jacob Fatu just ended up doing a suicide dive into everybody. He was on fucking fire, y'all. So like I said, this is not it with the Bloodline 3.0 versus Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso. This might continue all the way to, like I said, it might continue to Survivor Series. This might continue to Survivor Series. This right here, like with Roman Reigns, they had a 4-year rivalry with the entire locker room. Had a 4-year rivalry with the entire locker room. Roman Reigns defeated everybody multiple times over the last 4 years. So yeah, this might end up leading up to Survivor Series, y'all. War Games. We are gonna just have to see. Alright? Let's keep it pushing. Backstage, Randy was up, like I said, Randy Orton was apologizing to Jelly Roll, about putting him in harm's way and shit. And Jelly Roll was like, fuck that, I'm a grown man. He said he wants revenge. And so Randy Orton said we can have revenge at SummerSlam. That's how that match came about. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul, y'all. August 2nd and 3rd, y'all. Make sure y'all tune in for SummerSlam because I'm going to make sure I have the podcast ready for that episode. SummerSlam and WrestleMania is my favorite 2 pay-per-views, y'all. So, guys, to do a podcast for those things, for those events right there. All right, so let's move into Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. Y'all, how y'all feeling out there? Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all keep commenting, reposting, man. I love y'all. Let's do this together. In 2025, we on the road to 10,000 subscribers, y'all. We on the road to 10,000 subscribers. On YouTube, y'all. On YouTube. I know some people like on the other apps. He was like, he's not even close to 10,000. On the other social medias, I ain't close to 10,000. But on YouTube, we can do it. All right, YouTube family, let's do it. I want to say RST Nation. Let's do it together. All right, let's talk about Seth and LA Knight, y'all. Seth Rollins had an injury. His fucking knee. That match ended so quick, y'all. Seth Rollins had an knee injury during his match. So LA Knight ended that match real quick with a BFT, and the ref counted to 3, and that was it. I was like, damn! I just knew that match was gonna be a match right there. I knew Seth Rollins was gonna do his thing, but it didn't go nowhere. The match ended probably like in fucking 5 minutes. Seth Rollins versus LA Knight, and Seth Rollins went down to LA Knight. So I don't know what's gonna happen with Seth Rollins, y'all. I don't know what's gonna happen with Seth Rollins. He's a Money in the Bank holder, and hopefully get better, get well soon, Seth freaking Rollins, y'all. Tell Seth Rollins to get well soon because he's a Money in the Bank holder. So now, if Seth Rollins is hurt for real, y'all, Braun would have to now take the lead from Seth Rollins until he get his fucking knee fixed. But we gonna just have to see. Anything can happen in the WWE. Alright? Let's keep it moving into the main event. Gunther versus Goldberg, y'all. Gunther versus Goldberg. Shit, that's crazy. It's going down. Alright? But look, Gunther versus Goldberg. So look, the turning point of that match. So the winner of that match, by the way, was the one and only Gunther, like I thought it was gonna be. So what would be the reason of Goldberg winning the championship if he would have won? What would have been the reason? What was the reason? Like, but yeah, what would have been his reason? He had no storyline. He came back for one night only. So, same thing with Trish Stratus versus Tiffany Stratton. At Evolution. We just gonna have to see what will happen. Is they bringing Trish back for? Is she gonna have a storyline? But anyway, that's Evolution. We'll talk about Evolution later. All right. So look, Gunther versus Goldberg, and Gunther retained the championship. Gunther is still the World Heavyweight Champion. So the turning point of this match, y'all, the turning point of this match was when Goldberg tried to spear Gunther, but Gunther ended up moving, and Goldberg ended up spearing the motherfucking referee, y'all. He speared the goddamn ref. The ref went down, so Gunther took out Goldberg and removed his fucking knee brace, y'all. He moved his knee brace and beat the shit on with it. And then he went outside the ring and Gunther pushed Goldberg's son. See, that's why, but Goldberg, I just knew Goldberg was gonna win. Because he was fucking with his son. Gunther was fucking with Goldberg's son. So Goldberg got a spear off, y'all. Goldberg did get a spear off, and he did his jackknife slam. And he did that to Gunther. But Gunther ended up kicking out of that, y'all. Gunther kicked out of that fucking move. Because Goldberg actually hesitated. Goldberg was like, he was fucking hurt because they removed his knee brace. So Goldberg was like goddamn Stone Cold Steve Austin. They didn't even got them knee braces, their old asses. No offense. So Gunther ended up putting Goldberg in the sleeper, y'all. Gunther put Goldberg in the sleeper. Goldberg tapped out to Gunther, y'all. Goldberg tapped out to Gunther. And that's why Gunther is a beast. That's why Gunther is a fucking beast. He is a beast. So what is next for Gunther? Like Gunther was saying, he's gonna be the one that says who's next, because he just put Goldberg the fuck down, y'all. So who's next for Gunther? Who is next for Gunther? Put in the comments right here on Raw Smack Talk, y'all. So look, that was Saturday night's main event edition, y'all. Saturday night's main event edition right here on the Raw Smack Talk episode 60, y'all. That was episode 60 is down. And obviously we're gonna talk about, episode 61. I think I'm gonna include Raw and Evolution for episode 61. That's what I might end up doing for that, so it won't be so many goddamn videos and shit. But anyway, we gonna see. But episode 60 is down and out, y'all. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, man. Comment, post, repost, whatever you gotta do what you gotta do. It's like on the Raw Smack Talk. RST Nation, y'all. I love y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you're right here with the one and only King Tyson. I will see y'all in the next episode. I'm out.